Hey, hi, hello, how are you? I'm P and today I'm going to be doing my December wrap up and my January TBR. So in the month of December, kind of like November, I didn't read too much. Again, holidays are busy, you know? You're gonna hear this a lot. But I ended up finishing 3 books. Pretty okay. They were all audiobooks, but I do have the physical ones here, and I really liked all of them, so that is a good thing, you know? Small in numbers, we gained in quality, so that's as always, you can follow me on Goodreads to get more like up-to-date info because I only do these once a month. The book that I finished in December was The Afterlife of Polly Chase by Cynthia Hand. This is a really cool I was about to say Ebenezer Scrooge retelling, but that's not what it's called. A Christmas Carol retelling, and I read this around Christmas time and I really loved it. It is about kind of a teenage Scrooge and named Holly, and she ends up not turning her life around like Scrooge and becomes Ghost of Christmas Past in this thing called Project Scrooge, which every year they try to like rescue someone who's about to die because of their bad ways, and this year the Scrooge is gonna turn things upside down. It was a really fun story. I really enjoyed the plot and the characters. I thought it was really nice. There were some twists and a little bit of a plot twist towards the end, which I really enjoyed and I did not see coming, which is always fun. Overall, I really like this book. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, and today's emoji book rating is going to be The Tree. I definitely recommend if you're looking for a Christmassy read. Obviously now that it's past Christmas you probably aren't, but for future reference, it's a really good one. The next book I read was a reread, and that is Girl Online by Zoe Sugg. I reread this every year. I wrote a Goodreads review about this because I think I've read it 5 or 6 times now. It's really close to me. It's totally flawed. There's a whole scandal that was going on with like whether it was ghostwritten or not, like back in 2014 when it came out. But it was the first book that I ever read with anxiety rep that really resonated with me, and it's just super important to me. It has the cutest Christmassy vibes. It has really cute love story that happens during winter, during like Christmas to like New Year's-ish. Yeah, I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. It's one of my favorite books of all time. I just love it a lot. It makes me really happy. So, and then lastly, I listened to the audiobook for The Land of Stories, The Wishing Spell by Chris Colfer. I picked this up a while ago, I think at the end of summer or something, and I like didn't know Chris Colfer was a writer. I loved, oh my god, I loved him of course in Glee. But I didn't know he had this middle grade series, and it was so good. This gave me such like Magic Tree House vibes, which I used to read when I was a kid, and it just made me feel so nostalgic. I loved it. The audiobook is narrated by Chris Colfer, so I really recommend listening to that because he does an amazing job. I love him. This is a 5 or 6 book series. It's all of it is already out, and it centers around these twins who are the most well off, and they have this storybook that their grandmother and their dad used to read to them. And they end up finding the land beyond the stories, going inside the book, and basically their adventure to try and get back to reality and encountering everything along with all these fairy tales. I think he did a really good job weaving in all different sorts, like Sleeping Beauty to Snow White and Little Red Riding Hood, and also like making some new ones, which I really liked. And there was one thing I saw coming, but I really liked that reveal or plot twist, but there was another thing I didn't, and it just was really fun, really magical, and I loved it a whole lot, and these covers are just gorgeous. And I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. I just love the magic and the whimsy in it, and I love middle grade so much. It's just so much fun. Now I have some books here that I plan/hope to read. First book I actually just want to finish, and that is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. I've been reading this since August. I finally got back into it, and I only have like a little bit left, which is really fun. I have about 200 pages left, and I'm loving it so much. I just don't want it to end and everyone to die. And then another book that I am a little bit through is Sawkill Girls by Claire Legrand. I started this a while ago. I didn't get that far through, but I was really enjoying what I was reading, and yeah, I hope to finish this. It's really fun. It's kind of spooky, Stranger Things-esque. And then I also would like to read Dumplin' by Julie Murphy. I don't own this book, but it's available through Scribd, and it might be available through my library. I'm not sure, I'll have to check. But I really want to read this before I see the movie, and maybe do a book before movie on it. I'm not too sure. And then lastly, I hope to read The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. I love reading historical fiction around the winter time. I don't really know why, but in November I read another historical fiction during World War II. I'm very excited to read some more, especially the amazing things I've heard about this book. It is kind of a beastly long historical fiction, but I'm hoping that it goes well. Alright guys, so that is all for this video. Make sure to let me know what you read in December and what you're planning on reading in January. Like, comment, subscribe to all of the things, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!